You were having such a good time when we were watching that movie. I don't understand what the fucking problem is.
You made me go out in fucking 30-degree weather.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Weed Cap. My name's Caleb. With me, as always, is my fiance, Lauren, who I just made go out in 30-degree weather to take the dog out while I got
27-degree weather, actually.
27-degree weather while I got the podcast set up. First things first, if you listen to our most recent episode, you might have heard me vehemently and fervently swear off drinking.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
It might surprise you to find out that I've had a couple of road sodas.
Less than 24 hours.
I've had a couple of sody pops here tonight. It's been more than 24 hours. We didn't record that last night. How long do you think 24 hours is, Lauren?
No, I was thinking that it was earlier in the day.
No, okay. Yeah, I've had a couple of pops. And that is what it is. Lauren's very upset with me. Not over the drinking. She supports that 100%.
You don't care about the drinking.
It's got nothing to do with the drinking. It's more so about me making her go out in the freezing cold.
Mm-hmm. It's not my job.
It's not her job.
Not at night.
It's not her job at night.
It's scary out there at night.
And who takes her out at night 99.9%
you, because you're the man.
of the time?
You're the man, and I'm all for women's rights, but fuck that.
That's something that is pretty prevalent in the feminist movement, is that you're all for women's rights and equal rights and stuff until it's dark out and you're scared.
I should have the right to choose. I should be able to choose. Oh, yeah, I could do that if I want to, but I don't have to because I have a man.
Okay.
I'm supposed to have a man.
Yeah.
Who can take the dog out in the night in the cold.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a real man. Ladies and gentlemen, the movie tonight.
Mark Wahlberg.
Patriots Day. Now, Patriots Day is obviously about the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing, and we're going to start at the top here and let you know that there's nothing funny about the Boston Marathon bombing. It was a tragedy. People lost their lives. There was literally nothing funny about the bombing itself.
No.
Having said that, this movie is fucking hilarious.
If you watch it out of the context of the tragedy.
If you kind of suspend disbelief and you go, hey, this didn't really happen, then this is maybe the funniest movie of all time, because Mark Wahlberg is the worst actor.
Yeah. Literally
the worst actor. And he's also a horrible person. So I don't feel bad. Oh, really?
Why did you say that?
You don't know about all the stuff with Mark Wahlberg?
No.
Oh. Okay, well, before we let's just do a little Mark Wahlberg trivia before we get into the movie.
I thought he had a burger.
He has several burgers with his. Okay, first of all, it's never good when you go. Now, look, I've done things as a young man that I regret.
Okay.
I've drove drunk as a young man, a bunch, under the age of 20, like 17, 18, 19. I drove drunk probably 10 times. And I thought that if I packed enough Skull apple into my lip, that if I got pulled over, the police wouldn't be able to detect that.
Okay.
Nowadays, the past 10 years, though, I've not driven drunk once. I hate it.
Thankfully.
I mean, it's just the right thing to do. I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging.
In the last 10 years, I haven't driven drunk.
The only time I drove drunk was before I was legally allowed to drink.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I'm not bragging. I don't want to brag, but I haven't driven drunk in like a decade. So, but I did things I'm not proud of. I did that. I'm trying to think of other stuff, but I never did stuff like Mark Wahlberg.
What did he do?
As a teenager in 1986 and 1988, Wahlberg took part in some racially motivated attacks.
Oh, no.
June 1886, like he was in the Civil War.
Good Lord, yeah.
My dearest Margaret. No, in June 1986, a 15-year-old Wahlberg and 3 friends chased after 3 black children while yelling, kill the N-word, kill the N-word.
No.
Yes, I didn't say it. That's what he said. That's a direct...
Where are you reading this?
Wikipedia.
Well, we can't trust Wikipedia.
No, this is a well-known thing that Mark Wahlberg was like a racist, like a racially violent teenager.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I mean, there's 3 paragraphs. I'm going to take you through all of them. So those were young kids, by the way. He was 15 years old. These were like 6-year-old kids.
What?
Yelling, "Kill them!" while throwing rocks at them. The next day, Wahlberg and the others followed a group of mostly black 4th graders, which, by the way, 4th grade is what, like 8 or 9 years old?
Yeah.
Taking a field trip on a beach, yelling racial epithets at them, threw rocks at them. Oh my God, is he throwing rocks at us?
Mark Wahlberg, are you here right now?
Oh my God.
He said, "Stop
did
talking shit."
Did somebody just call me a honky? What was that? What was that?
The car fell. I don't know.
Oh, your THC cartridge fell. And he summoned other white males to join in the harassment. So, picture you're 8 or 9 years old and then retarded Mark Wahlberg's there calling you slurs. I don't care. Mark Wahlberg is retarded. There's difference between being mentally challenged and then being full-blown retarded. And Mark Wahlberg is the most retarded fucking person I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, so keep that in mind. We're going
by looks.
Keep that. No, and his acting, just everything about him. He's literally one like the worst person you went to high school with.
Got famous.
Like if he would be a respiratory therapist and he would think that he was a neurosurgeon. Just gonna say that. Okay. Wow. So in August 1986, civil action was filed against Wahlberg for violating civil rights of several of his victims, and they were issued a civil rights injunction saying that they admitted to committing several hate crimes.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, and his friends, the pack of honkies that he rolled with.
Okay.
And then the
rest is history.
2 years later, in April 1988, Wahlberg, then 16, which the math on this Wikipedia doesn't make sense because how was he 15?
Thank you.
But no, this is real. This is real. This is all fact.
It's real on the Wikipedia page.
No, this is real. I mean, this is how
do we know it's real? We weren't there.
You keep undermining this. Are you a fucking? First of all, I believe all victims. Because it's 2024, and you're over there going, are you a Mark Wahlberg fucking apologist?
I just think that it's crazy that you're acting like Wikipedia is factual information when everybody knows.
There's 1,000 sources. You wouldn't know because you don't do any of the research for this podcast.
I can't see the computer.
Okay, well, scoot around here, and you can read this yourself while I read it. In April 1988, Wahlberg, then 16, assaulted a middle-aged Vietnamese American man on the street, calling him a, quote, Vietnam fucking shit.
Oh my God, so he's
quote.
Just racist against everyone.
Vietnam fucking shit. Knocking him unconscious with a large wooden stick. Later that same day, he attacked Johnny Trin,
who's that?
Another Vietnamese American man, and striking him in the eye. When Wahlberg was arrested and returned to the scene of the first assault, he told police officers, "I'll tell you now, that's the motherfucker whose head I split open."
Oh, no.
Investigators also noted that Wahlberg made numerous unsolicited racial statements about, quote, Asian racial slur and stuff about their eyes.
Jeez.
He was initially arrested for attempted murder. He was charged with 2 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, 1 count of marijuana possession, and criminal contempt for violating the civil rights injunction he received 2 years earlier. So let me get this straight. What? This is the kind of fucking moron that you're dealing with. That this guy,
I think he's got anger issues.
This guy beat someone up and then went around looking for another person. Okay, returned to the scene of the first assault with weed in his pocket when weed was illegal. This is the kind of fucking retard that Mark Wahlberg is. That but before he went back to the scene of the first assault where the police were, he did not take the drugs out of his pocket.
He was young. How old was he?
He was 16. Stupid.
Did they just let him go?
Stupid. No, he was arrested. He was charged with 2 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, 1 count marijuana possession.
Right.
He pled guilty to the felony assault and was sentenced to 3 months in jail, but served only 45 days of his sentence.
Ain't that a bitch?
Wahlberg would later go on to say that he was on PCP at the time. Now, I've never taken PCP. I've never taken PCP.
PCP makes you racist?
No. PCP is a dissociative that's very similar to dextromethorphan, which is the DXM, which I used to abuse heavily before I met you.
Oh, I've seen you abuse it non-heavily. I've just seen you take it in regular medicine, which, by the way, Mucinex.
Yeah, for you guys at home, I have a liver enzyme deficiency, like the CYPD26 enzyme, where I take a single maximum strength dose of Mucinex, the maximum strength.
It has to be the DM, though.
Yeah, the DM, like the 90 milligram, and I will go on a 48-hour
he trips hard.
Disassociation from my body. And that, like, I don't see, that's the thing, is that, like, for him to go like, oh, I was on a disassociative at the time, what does it make me do, Lauren? It makes me stand at the edge of the bed.
You're not racist.
And exactly, it makes me do like crotch chops. I think I'm in DX. So you're saying
it brings out the worst of people?
No, it doesn't bring out it didn't make me racist. He was already racist.
That's
exactly.
What I mean.
That's what I'm saying. He was already a piece of shit. In August 1992, Wahlberg fractured the jaw of his neighbor, Robert Crehan, in an attack. Court documents state that in 1992, Wahlberg, without provocation or cause, viciously and repeatedly attacked Crehan in the face, while another man, Derek McCall, held the victim to the ground.
My God.
Yes. So...
Are these all unprovoked?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. He's just a piece of shit.
And then he went on to become this famous actor, and everyone loves him.
Well, first he was
in jail again?
New Kids on the Block, Marky Mark. He was Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch.
Is that where he got his reputation?
Yes. Then he was a Calvin Klein underwear model.
He was in that movie.
What movie?
With that movie that we watched with Reese Witherspoon, where he like beat his chest. Remember?
Oh, Fear. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was crazy. He finger banged her on a Ferris wheel.
Yes.
Or did he come? Did they fuck on the Ferris wheel?
No, he finger banged her.
He finger violated her on the Ferris wheel. She came. I think she had a big one. I don't know
if they were on the Ferris wheel.
They were on the Ferris wheel, 100%.
I thought they were on that spinny ride.
No, you can't come on a spinny ride. You come on a Ferris wheel. Everybody knows that.
I've never come at the carnival.
Well,
I'm not a carny.
I'm not a carny either. So let me get back to the synopsis here. So Patriots Day is about the Boston bombing. So on April 14th, 2013, Boston Police Department Sergeant Tommy Saunders, which is Mark Wahlberg, captures a suspect and fails to convince Commissioner Davis to let him off from a punishment duty the next day, working the Boston Marathon. So that's what you want your security to be of a large event. You want the people working it to be in trouble at their job. You want it to be a punishment to protect you.
Yeah.
So the marathon is being held on Patriots Day. Tommy was suspended from duty for a while. In the beginning of the movie, he's suspended. This is the last thing he has to do. Doing his beat duty is part of the rehabilitation process. Now, they don't tell you what he was suspended for, but you can only assume it was the beating of an unarmed minority. Based off of the sum of all evidence.
Is we can't put that on the guy from Boston.
Well, you don't know.
About him.
So the night before the marathon, people go on about their daily lives. There's the police officer, Sean Collier, who is dating Lee, a student at MIT. She's working to create robots. No joke. That is not a joke. All of the people that they show at MIT are Asian. Just saying.
There was one white lady.
Yeah.
Her friend.
Okay, whatever. Well, I mean, come on. One? Tommy, and that's another thing, is that if you notice, Mark Wahlberg wasn't in any of those scenes. They couldn't bring him around the Asian people.
Dude, he talks to the Asian guy in the...
And he was very aggressive with him.
No, he wasn't.
The guy was like, I'm trying to tell you what's going on. He's like, shut up. Are you telling me that these are the people who did the bombing? And he was like, that's what I'm saying.
Like real events.
Yeah,
from
so
the Boston.
Anyways, also they show him so Mark Wahlberg in this movie is the classic police officer trope, which is like the Mel Gibson Lethal Weapon, these tortured police officers who are like the kind of guys who are like, you have no idea how hard my job is. I have to drink. Like in the movie, he says like he comes home late and goes into his wife's room, and she's like, you're not supposed to be in here. We're having marriage issues. And he's like, she's like, you're drunk. And he's like, I had 2 pops. It was medicinal. And it's like the kind of guys who are like, and then by the way, he proceeds.
Pop?
It's Budweiser's.
Oh.
They show him drinking Budweiser's in on his couch, and all he's doing is staring at baseball cards. They show him like a montage of him drinking like 6 beers,
and he's just
he's just sorting his baseball cards. So that's the kind of fucking retard that we're dealing with here in Mark Wahlberg. Okay.
That's a character he was written in.
I'm sorry, I hate Mark Wahlberg. So, and he plays it well. So, also, the whole movie is like, he should really be thanking the people who carried out this bombing.
What?
They saved his marriage.
Oh,
because all of a sudden the bombing happens, she's running him a goddamn bath.
And
she's running him a goddamn bath.
Well, he's got a knee problem.
Oh yeah, he's got to come home, stare at his baseball cards, drink a 6-pack, and massage his own knee because his job is he's so tortured as a police officer. Oh my god, I hate that shit. It's just so fucking stupid. And then he's got to spring into action. John Goodman's there, Kevin Bacon's there. If you know what happened in the 2013 Boston bombing, you don't need to watch this movie unless you want to laugh at Mark Wahlberg interjecting
Caleb watched
himself.
It in real time.
I did. So let me just
I didn't.
let me run you through what I was doing. Me and my best friend since we were, God, I don't know, we met in 6th grade. First day of 6th grade. Lauren knows him well. He's literally my best friend. He comes over to our house all the time. So him and I, my grandmother, my mother's mother, was buying a new washer and dryer from a private seller because when you come from white trash, you don't go to Lowe's, you don't go to Home Depot, you buy it from the flea market in Thomasville, Pennsylvania. So she bought a washer and dryer and then realized, oh, we only have a GMC Jimmy. We have no way. You're
talking about a car.
Yeah, it's like a CRV. We have no way to get this home. My grandfather, he was away. He was away at work, so he worked out of state.
Yeah.
So I had to call my other grandfather, who you know,
yep,
Big Ball Benny, and use his truck. And I had my license at the time, and I called him and I was like, "Hey, can I borrow your truck?"
He was probably like, no.
For $1,000, and he was like, "I'll come."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, well." Smart thinking. So he comes over and picks me and Zach up, who, by the way, the Boston bombing has now happened. It has now happened. And we're driving up to pick up this washer and dryer in Thomasville. And we're just stoned to the bone. And he's got the radio cranked because he was a police officer.
Yeah, he's got to listen in.
So he was like, not just a street officer, he's like an intelligence officer.
Yeah,
he was tuned in the whole time. Like anytime we were talking, he'd be like hip shit hip. So we just sat in silence and listened to like the horror pouring out of Boston. And then the funniest thing happened is we pick up the washer and dryer, we're coming back, we're listening again to the humanity coming in. There's 10 dead, 20 dead, 50 dead. You know, I don't know how many people. I think only 3 people died.
Jeez.
But we're hearing these personal accounts and these, you know, when there's a tragedy, they interview all the people who were there. So we're listening to these personal accounts on this radio station he had, like Sirius XM, like news or whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm like, we're passing the Hardee's in Spring Grove. And I was like, yeah, I hear they got the Frisco burgers back. And he just didn't say a word. He just flipped the turn signal on. Because he loves a good burger. If there's one thing about him, so
Hardee's is good.
We went in. We had a burger. We went back to my other grandparents' house. We dropped everything off, and then me and Zach went to my biological father's house and did bong hits and watched the rest of it unfold. It was pretty crazy. It was like 2 days, like 48 hours of just ripping through weed and watching the news.
This is in 2013.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had just graduated high school, and it was we were just sitting around smoking. Our entire lives at that point
sitting around smoking
was not. It was just literally, whose house are we going to tonight? How much weed do we have? When are we going to pick up more weed? And how creative can we smoke this tonight? Should we do gravity bong hits? Should we? And Lauren will tell you this. I love watching the news. If there's something going on, like a tragedy, I will watch the news and just sit there and just go every time something happens. I love to just grasp my chest and go, oh my God. So, and this whole movie is just pretty much, I mean, John Goodman's in it, Kevin Bacon's in it. Both of them have suspiciously small roles.
Yeah, for like the actors that
they really play like bit parts. Like Kevin Bacon's in like 4 scenes. John Goodman's in like 4 scenes.
They're old.
Yeah, but John Goodman's an acting motherfucker. So is Kevin Bacon. Yeah. Kevin Bacon was just in Maxine, and that what we watched, and that was 10 years later, and he fucking killed that role. Yeah,
but he wasn't in like action scenes or anything.
No, but I'm just saying, like, they both had a minimal role in this.
Also, I feel like they both looked like the real people. They do show you the real people at the end, and I feel like they did a pretty good job. Not Mark Wahlberg.
No, not Mark Wahlberg. Thank you for clarifying.
Nobody looks like Mark Wahlberg.
I like to picture, like, this movie, when we were watching it, made me think, like, what if... Oh, because this is another thing. Another piece of Mark Wahlberg trivia I gotta hit you with, okay?
Oh, my God. How much is there?
Wahlberg was booked to fly on American Airlines Flight 11 on September 11th, 2001.
Yo, wait, what? What happened?
His plans changed the day before, and he canceled his reservation. He received backlash for stating in a 2012 interview, "If I was on that plane with my kids, it wouldn't have went down like it did."
Bullshit. What the fuck?
He added, "There would have been a lot of blood in that first class cabin." So that's the funniest thing is that he had to specify that he would have been in first class.
We assumed.
And then he goes on to say, "Okay, we're going to land somewhere safely. Don't worry." But then I started thinking, like, he accepted this role so that he could be the hero of this tragedy, you know?
Yeah, that's what he wanted.
But then I started thinking about Mark and like if they just made a bunch of reimagining of history of Mark Wahlberg at tragedies.
And he just gets to relive
Mr. Hitler, you gotta shut down these chambers. These are good American people.
No.
Mr. Hitler.
The Jewish.
Mr. Hitler, you gotta shave that mustache. Or like in Japan, we get like Fukushima, we gotta shut down these reactors. These reactors are about to go nuclear, Captain. We gotta do something. Does Mark Wahlberg like at any tragedy like he's Mothman, like he just pops up, like Mark Wahlberg's Mothman. Yeah, no, he's
Burger Man.
At the fucking Aurora shooting. Hey, I don't like the way that guy's going in and out of that exit. If I would have been there, if I would have been in Regal Cinemas Theater 11, it wouldn't have gone down like it did. There would have been a lot of blood in those first 2 rows. There would have been a lot of popcorn spilled. I just, like, any tragedy, like Mark Wahlberg on the Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity, we're going down. I don't know. I like to think of Mark Wahlberg just being anywhere. The dude's like a fucking harbinger of tragedy. How many times can I say of funk soul brother? Check it out now.
A harboring of tragedy.
Harbinger of tragedy, not harboring. I'm having some Samuel Adams Old Fezziwig tonight, which is like the character that inspired it. The spiced brown ale is warm, festive, and worthy of a celebration of its own. Sweet toffee flavors with rich dark caramel. So, I don't know. I like to think Mark Wahlberg stole Christmas.
Like the Grinch.
Like the Grinch, yeah.
He should have played the Grinch.
They're all down there singing the Christmas music. I hate it.
I can't do a Boston accent, so I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't even have like a typical like. He's not Bill Burr. Like he doesn't have like his is all about the inflection.
The inflection.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
It's the implication.
Yeah, it's like I don't know like.
You don't say.
And then I squeezed the bass and pus came out. It's just like like I don't know what to say about him. He's
exaggerated.
It's more about the cadence of Mark Wahlberg. I'm not saying I'm doing a great Mark Wahlberg, but the idea of just imagining him at every world tragedy is just the funniest.
You really want to do that?
Him being like at that flight where they ate those people. He's like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting pretty hungry. The guy it crashed into the Andes.
Oh, and then they had to eat.
The people.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Well, you have to choose between you and them, and then fuck it.
Mark Wahlberg. In September 2015, he apologized to Pope Francis over the crude jokes he made in the film Ted.
What?
he apologized to the Pope.
Wasn't he a bear in that movie? Oh no,
he's the guy who's friends with the bear, which is fucking worse.
The bear is
yeah. So
I mean,
so like the whole like his whole life is just him doing stuff and then going, I shouldn't have done that, and being like, sorry, old Fezziwig was hitting me back. And he stated in an interview with Cardinal Blase Kupik of Chicago in 2017 that he sought forgiveness from God for playing a porn star in Boogie Nights.
Have you seen that?
That's so fucking funny.
We should do a podcast on Boogie Nights.
I've seen Boogie Nights. We watched it together. I saw it before that too. It's funny to me that he's asking the Pope for forgiveness for playing a porn star, but not for the litany of hate crimes that he's committed in his life.
Maybe he feels like he's already served justice.
I think I took a little too far there. Pope.
What even were the jokes?
In Ted, I don't know. There were no jokes in the movie Ted. There were no jokes.
I hate it.
The joke is that he fucking robbed some studio of $20 million.
Oh, he made a second one of that too.
Yeah, there were a lot of... Those are the kind of movies that just won't end. Now, I will say Mark Wahlberg was in one movie that I enjoyed. There was one Mark Wahlberg movie that, as a fucking, like a 10-year-old, you're like, oh, this is the most badass.
I have one too.
Go ahead. What's yours?
I can't remember what it's called right now, so you tell yours.
Okay, I'm going to go Four Brothers. Four Brothers is where they've been adopted by an older woman who gets killed. And then Andre 3000 from Outkast.
Yes, I know. I've seen it.
And who's the other? Tyrese. Tyrese. And
who's the other guy?
Garrett Hedlund and Mark Wahlberg. They have to avenge her death. And that's a good movie. Every Mark Wahlberg... No, it's not a good movie.
Yes, it is.
It's good when you're a 10 or a 12-year-old and you're like, this is how the world works. And then you realize that the old lady's murder probably never would have been solved. And even if it was solved, it's not realistic to take it into your own hands. You have to let the justice system play out. That's the world we live in.
That's good to know that if I got murdered, you wouldn't...
I wouldn't what?
You wouldn't fucking fight for justice. You wouldn't find me.
What are you, your father? You wouldn't fucking fight for justice. He was... Okay, so maybe I've been a little too hard on Mark Wahlberg. I do hate him, though. Oh. He was in The Departed. He played a pretty good role in The Departed. Departed.
Have I seen that?
Yeah, I made you watch it one time, and you literally...
I probably hated it.
Yeah, you did, because it's like 3 hours long. It's one of the best movies of all time. With Leonardo, the one where Leonardo DiCaprio... he's an undercover cop and he's in the bar. Okay. And he orders a cranberry juice and the guy goes, "What do you have, your period?" He beats the shit out of him and then like the guy in the mob comes over. He's like, that's not a guy you can't hit, but that's almost a guy you can't hit. Now what are you drinking? And he goes, cranberry juice. And he goes, what is it, your fucking period?
And then he
just has to... No, he doesn't. He just has to take it because it's a made man.
Oh man,
that's a good one.
I don't remember any of that.
And he was in Max Payne, which was a horrible movie about a fantastic video game. Specifically, Max Payne 3 was the best one. What's yours?
I don't know what it's called. It got Zooey Deschanel in it, though.
The Lovely Bones?
No.
Invincible?
No.
The Yards?
No.
I'm on his page. I don't know. What did he play? Do you know the character?
Was like the main one. He was like the main guy. How the fuck would I know?
Pain and Gain.
No, it's something where it's like a scary kind of movie, thriller.
Well, We Own the Night.
No.
Shooter.
No.
Invincible. No, that's where he joins the Philadelphia Eagles. Overnight. No. Rockstar. No. The Perfect Storm.
Oh, that's a good movie. He was in The Perfect Storm.
He was Bobby
remake?
He was.
He was
Bobby Shatford. I've had a couple beers, and at this point, we're just reading a Wikipedia page. This is the problem, real quick, before we go, with drinking, is that I am a diehard Detroit Lions fan.
Okay.
No. Let me
this is all going to tie in somehow.
Yes. And every year I fall into this trap where I go, I'm not going to drink unless the Lions are playing, because that's when I enjoy it the most.
And we don't even get to watch the game.
Well, we watch the game all the time. We watch a lot of Lions games, everyone that's available to us. And
that's
then,
what I'm saying. And we lived in Detroit.
And then your dad, me and your dad are close, so I watch. He's a diehard Ravens fan.
My
so
dad would die for the Ravens.
So I watch the Ravens games to talk to him about them. And then I'm like, well, I can drink if the Ravens are playing. But then it's like I trick the mental gymnastics I do. I trick myself into going like, well, the Bears are on Monday Night Football tonight. The Lions aren't playing, but the Bears directly affect their division. So I have to watch it, and I'd have a couple beers while I watch it. And then you're like...
The correlation is drinking and football.
And then on Thursdays, it's like, this coming Thursday, the Lions play, but it's like, oh, there's 2 AFC teams playing? Well, whoever wins this could potentially face the Lions in the playoffs. So I got to have a drink. And it all boils down to this time of year. I have no problem. I once went a year without drinking when I was having all the pleurisy.
Oh yeah, he had issues.
Yeah, I went a year without drinking, had no problem, and then I literally ended the football season. Then like 9 months later, which probably wasn't a year, I carried sobriety full term.
Yeah,
and then football season came. Just during football season.
Football.
I have a hard time not drinking. So until January, you guys are going to have to deal with some... Every once in a while, I'm going to call Mark Wahlberg a retard, and I just need a little bit of grace. So, anyways, guys, we love you. We'll see you next week. Thank you guys for listening, as always. And if you run into any personal tragedy in your life, just think of Mark Wahlberg coming to save you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your mom's sick? I'm sure she's going to pull through. I'm Caleb. With me as always is Lauren, who's just now defrosted and warmed up from making her go outside. Lauren, do you have anything you want to say to the people at home as they carry through their week?
No. Oh, yeah. What's our slogan? Stay safe, stay stoned, and watch movies.
Yes.
Stay stoned.
Stay stoned. Hey, stay safe. Stay stoned. Watch movies, guys.
Oh.
Yeah, my voice cracked. That was supposed to be Mark Wahlberg. That's so embarrassing.